big bad world though.
Oh, talk about your falls. Like, um,
My first major fall was because the doctor said to me I needed to get some exercise. So take yourself for an exercise around the block and then go a bit further. So I decided to go to the shopping centre, which was only a couple of streets away,
uh,
and I went and got what I needed and took my nana trolley, and everything was going well, except the woman was hesitating whether to go or to let me across
in a car.
in a car, and I just didn't watch close enough at the gutter, and down I went. Broke quite a few ribs. I was in a lot of pain with that one.
So how's the strokes affected your falling?
Well, I've got no way of saving myself anymore. I just fall.
Yeah.
Just like a ton of bricks, I just go down.
So your arms don't come out and save you or nothing.
No,
So you lost that reflex.
I've lost that reflex. Very painful. I've had a few falls, but
What was it? Ribs, a leg, a wrist,
yeah, or knee
a knee.
and a wrist.
Yeah, the knee one they couldn't plaster that because it's your knee.
Yeah,
It just has to heal.
but I've been 9 months without falling, so that's a record for me.
That's all right. What what happens when you have a tumble in the trailer here? Is everything close enough so you can save yourself?
I've only ever really been hurt once, and that was re-hurting my knee because I fell out of bed.
No.
But other than that, I've had a few accidents with our safety step, so it's not so safe sometimes.
It's better than nothing.
But yeah, it is. Dexter doesn't get in my way. He helps.
Mm.
He knows to keep out of my way when I'm trying to go to the toilet.
So what's the biggest changes that's happened to you since your stroke? Like, what do you find that's vastly different to the person you were before?
My memory, I do remember names. I used to always be good at remembering names and faces.
Uh,
Numbers, telephone numbers, all that. Can't remember anything like that now. That's all got to be written down if I try to remember to write it down. My walk still, I still walk. This arm's still not properly functional,
uh,
but my leg's pretty much useless. It just follows the other one.
about your memory, do you still have that gap in your memory 6 months before your strokes?
Yeah, and my first marriage.
Oh, that's a positive.
There's some things I just don't remember in my past, and some things I don't want to remember in my past.
What about your childhood and school years? You still got memories of that?
Not all of it. There's a lot missing, which hurts because I am a storyteller of a family, aren't I?
Yeah, it's hard to shut you up.
Yeah, that too.
Could be the same story days in, days out.
Because I don't remember telling you, that's why.
Yeah, the same story 5 times a week.
Pretty much.
What?
That's flashing.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Mm.
It's a camera.
Cameras are my worst enemy.
Eh.
It's been hard with society though. I understand how some poor people with disabilities get treated. I've been treated the same.
I like when you went back to work and you had customers go crook at you.
Yeah. They often thought I was drunk. One gentleman come up and said, was it worth coming to work drunk and losing your job? He didn't ask why I was like I was. Some I've tried to tell and they just go, oh yeah, that's an excuse.
Mm.
As they push past you if you're on crutches, they don't care. How they treat you. Had one lady there, she'd heard I'd had a stroke and she was yelling at me. Now that whole thing that they do in the movies,
Yeah.
it does happen. She was speaking really loud to me and I said to her, I've had a stroke, I'm not deaf.
Well, even if you are deaf, what's the point of yelling at them?
Uh,
They still can't hear you. Hmm. How do you find people walking around in shopping centres when you've got your walking stick?
not very courteous. I've been hit by geriatrics in their wheelie things,
Yeah, electric scooters.
electric scooters. Not a sorry or anything, they don't care. They're sitting down.
Even I've had to stop a few trolleys heading into you.
Yeah. You're like my guard dog, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's exhausting. I don't see how bodyguards can do it all the time.
They get paid.
Well, that would help. But, you know, walking you through a shopping centre, I've got to look at every single trolley coming near you. Running kids. I've actually sidestepped one of them, sent them hurling to the ground to stop them hitting you.
Nah.
He wasn't too happy about it, but meh.
Them's the breaks. But my speech is pretty good today.
No. Sometimes you wake up and you're stuttering and slurring. What does Grant do to you then?
Makes me talk more,
Mm.
don't you?
And what happens by the end of the day usually?
You're buggered.
No, with your speech.
That's a lot better. And then I go back to bed and wake up the next morning all the same again. My sleep pattern's really been affected. That's another thing. Sleeping. Sometimes I only get 4 hours of sleep. But I'm still here.
You still get the jolting awake?
Sometimes, but a bit more rarer these days. My leg generally goes up in the air. Not so much my arm anymore, just my leg. But that's with cramps too.
I remember when you first came home, you were whimpering a lot in your sleep.
Don't know what that was all about.
And some mornings when you wake up, first thing you see me, you have a conversation, and then you go back to sleep and you can't remember what you said when you wake up again.
I know we do that occasionally, people, but I seem to do it a lot more.
Or unless it's really convenient because you talked about getting stuck in the housework and it doesn't happen.
Could be.
Yeah.